What's up, everybody? Aaron with Aaron Unwinds, who is thinking about renaming this channel Aaron and Jeremy Unwinds, because back for the third time is my host, my humble co-host at this point for the Friday the 13th watch-alongs and beyond, Jeremy D. Potters. How you doing, Mr. Potters?
I'm doing great this time.
Yes.
I'm excited now. We got the two bad ones. Now we have a good one.
Absolutely. Right. And I will hear no other. We are on to the Jason that I've seen the most, and I believe you've seen the most.
For sure.
We just had Jason X, and it felt so good. Look at that poster. What a poster. I mean, it's really brilliant. It foreshadows the entire movie. It shows you both versions of Jason on there, and that's okay. And, of course, our final girl, Rowan, this time. And Rowan, she sure looks like Jessica Biel, but she costs a whole lot less.
So. Yeah, she does. She's okay. Honestly, I think the whole cast was, even though none of them have done anything since, except the one guy is in 300 and the pilot is in some stuff. I know I've seen. Nobody else has a filmography.
We're bearing the lead here. Dr. Wimmer, played by the greatest human to ever exist. Big fan of the channel, Mr. David Cronenberg. He told me he was a fan at family reunion. It was really awkward when he brought it up at the dinner table as I was talking with Brandon and Caitlin about their future projects. But anyways, David Cronenberg in this movie as a doctor. We start at Crystal Lake Research Facility, so some really heady writing here. Crystal Lake is where Jason drowns. I don't know if you knew that. In the camp is Crystal Lake.
Yeah, and now there's no camp.
They made it a research facility, so these writers working overtime here. Very impressive. Starts out in Jason. They've realized we've tried killing him with firing squad. We've tried hanging him. They name all the ways they tried killing him in the previous movies, which I was like, oh, I've covered all those. I know. I totally get it now. Really, clever callbacks there. And they're like, so we can't kill him. We're going to contain him until we figure out a way to kill him by drowning him in frozen water, also known as freezing him. So it's a good idea. But in comes David Cronenberg, Dr. Wimmer, and he's like, we need him soft. That's what he says. I need him soft, which I was just like, that's definitely David writing. Because we're transferring him to Scranton, which I just found hilarious. That I live around the Scranton area, not to dox myself. But it's kind of funny, the idea of frozen soft Jason getting transported to Scranton, Pennsylvania to get further research.
Thawed. Yes. Yeah. Cronenberg's on screen for 2 minutes, and he's an absolute prick the entire time, and it's great.
Yes.
We're not underselling how great this 90-second performance is.
No, there's a reason he's fourth billed. They knew what they were doing. So yeah, we eventually obviously goes wrong. We're not going to do a play-by-play of Jason X. It's not that kind of show, not that kind of movie, frankly. Overall, my thoughts on this movie, watching it a good 10 years since I've seen it last. Embarrassed to admit. It looks like a 2000 softcore porn set. I'm not sure if this is the same set as Space Nuts with Stormy Daniels, but if you want to pretend you haven't seen Space Nuts, congratulations, you're younger than me. But this looks like Space Nuts set. Am I wrong?
It definitely has Sci-Fi Channel Saturday at 4 p.m. kind of glow on it for that time. It definitely looks like Anaconda versus Mecha Croc kind of shit, and it's fine. I love it.
Yeah, and all the scientist ladies are dressed like whores. Even the android is a whore.
Yeah.
They're all whores. It's great.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's fine.
Their medical examiner is full midriff.
Yes.
The whole time. She's barely dressed because I don't know. I guess cloth is hard to find in space.
Well, this is 24 2455 that they're eventually transported to here. Very specific year. And I remember Abby at one point, the Abby of Why We Love Horror, my wife, she was stopped in to watch the movie for a little bit. And she was like, why are they dressed like that? Talking about all the women, of course. The men are dressed like monks. So like that's fine. And they're all goofy. I can't really think of any of their names besides Ronan, and I did I believe it was Crutch or Clutch. Sorry, I know it's one of those two. The pilot. I like the pilot for some reason, and it seemed the writers did too. They gave him a chance to live a little bit longer there. The kills are pretty good in this movie. I'll be honest. I think they're not the best kills in this series. If I'm being honest, like they just are kind of.
My favorite kill is the liquid nitrogen kill, like the first one when he first wakes up and he dunks her head because it's a cool effect with her face. It looks pretty good, and then he just smashes and it's just done. And he's like, okay, now let's move on. Like I'm moving on to the next thing. He finds a space machete, and then we're just going now.
And it seems like there's like a lot of good moments that they're like, we need to figure out how to get to these. So there's like the VR virtual killing scene, which is pretty funny. And I do like how they use the VR setup with confusing Jason like 3 or 4 times in this movie. Somehow, even though they used it that many times, it didn't get old to me. Like having Jason get confused about how this virtual reality works. I like when he the guy, whatever his name is, who's controlling the virtual reality once they set up Crystal Lake in 1980. He's like, I think he saw me. We need to figure out a way to distract Jason. And the woman's head is plugged in, and they're just like, the android head is plugged in. And they're like, we've combined every 1980s slut into these 2 sluts to distract Jason. And it's just like, one's just like, I'm getting drunk. I'm getting stoned. And then they just take off their tops and they land
premarital sex.
Yeah. We love premarital sex. Jason, it works on Jason completely. He just starts beating them with their sleeping bags, which is a great callback to the sleeping bag kill, which is one of the best in the franchise's history. They have a callback to Jason Takes Manhattan with the head of the android getting punched off as well. It's all called back to without ever directly looking at the camera and being like, call back, which I kind of appreciated about if it's going to be a greatest hits.
Instead of doing that, they just put in a bunch of cheesy one-liners.
Yeah.
Instead of stopping and winking, they're like, no, let's have this character that's about to die make a joke about how they're about to die.
Yep. And it works.
Yep.
And it works without seeing any of the movies. That's why it was my favorite before really diving into these movies. And after watching all 9 in succession week after week here and thinking about them more than a human should be thinking about Friday the 13th movies, it's amazing how many levels Jason X works on. Which brings me to one of my favorite lines in the movie, which is when that girl's getting sucked through that air vent or whatever. And she's like, this sucks on so many levels. And she looks at the camera for her joke before they just show the grate with meat on it. They just show the grate with meat on it. And then another thing I also love about this movie is once the android gets her head punched off and she's still around with the dude who's clearly going to use the head later to fuck it. He's carrying it around at times. It's turned around. You can tell it's just an Al Snow mannequin head, where it's so light. He's just and then other times her face is on screen and you can tell she's just laying on his arm off screen with her whole body.
I love it.
I'm just man, that's some high quality work from James Isaacs, who somehow never worked again as a director. A Real Crime, House 3 director, James Isaacs. Justice for James Isaacs. You made still the best Friday the 13th movie, if we're being honest here. It knows what it is. And that's the key with a So Bad It's Good movie. It has to know what it is. And it knows what it is from the jump to the end. And the last 20 minutes are such a fever dream that it goes for. Once he's broken down and shot into a billion pieces And then, of course, he like falls on the reanimator table. I'm just like, oh, I wonder what's good, you know. And it's just like he just forms back. He looks stupid as hell. This movie is never trying to be serious, and like yet it still somehow completely works. There's so many great lines.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah,
like and I love that they like the little things. Like they credit Kane Hodder as Jason / Uber Jason.
yes,
As if when they would have had a different guy become like.
Yeah, I was like, oh, good thing. And this is the most you ever get to see Kane Hodder. I feel like the whole back. I feel like that's actually Kane Hodder's head and hair. I don't care if it's not. I'm gonna pretend that's what his head looks like. Kane Hodder, he deserved to be Jason for this movie because like it just I don't know. It really it is like an apex Jason. It's so much fun. You know, like right down to the last drop. Is there any other moments that you want to think of or that you want to point out before we get on to the ratings here?
I just want to shout out the commando guy because the only other thing I've ever seen him in is he gets kicked into the hole in 300.
You're not Tony.
Watch this.
Not Tony Todd.
Not Tony Todd. Not Lance Reddick.
Not Tony Todd. Not Lance Reddick. Very jacked dude though. I agree. I want to just on that. I believe his name is Broderick, whatever, however you say it. Braddock, whatever. When Jason is like exploded for like the second or third time in the movie, and he's slowly floating towards the space station, and then Broderick just like intercepts and blindside hits him right before that they're floating towards Earth too. And it's just awful CGI. That was another really good part where like I feel like Creed could have started playing and it would have worked really well for that moment. Yeah, this is just it's just the best. It is the best Jason. Jason X also being the Roman numeral 10 people. I don't know if you put that all together. It's not just X because it's extreme in 2001 when everything was X. But it's also 10. It works on a lot of levels again. Like, goddamn. I don't know if Shakespeare wrote this, but it's close. Let's get to those ratings. All right. I'm lowering the brow a little bit here. Obviously, our guest is going to go first. First, we're going traditional rating, which I don't know how different it's going to be for you. So let's see. What's your traditional rating of Jason X?
I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen Jason X not enhanced. Like, if I'm being fair. I think like if you like these movies, you'll like this one. I assume I can't imagine people just hating on it just because it's bad, like or cheap or whatever. But I really genuinely enjoy it, so I'll give it 4 stars, like just straight up as like a fun time.
Yep. Yeah, and I had seen this unenhanced. I saw it as a child the first time, which essentially you're always enhanced as a child. That's the beauty of childhood. That's why we get enhanced as adults to regain our childhood wonder. This is a solid 4 videotapes for me as well. This movie, it really does work. I don't know too many people who like these movies who this one isn't towards the top, and I'd be confused if it wasn't. For the enhanced rating, Jeremy, is it going to attain that rare 5, which I believe only one movie for me has gotten the 5 leaves so far?
I mean, I'm typically more generous anyway, but yeah, of course, it's 5. Give me the 5 leaves. Like I watched it with my wife. She's laughing. I'm laughing.
Yeah.
We're having a blast. We're positive. We're like, look at this shit. Like, look what they're doing. Like, I love it. She's like, I have to pee. I was like, do you want me to pause it? Yeah, I think I want you to pause it. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. You don't want to miss any of it, even though it is what it is. But yeah,
it is so incredibly charming. It really is. And Peter Mensa, by the way, is Brodsky. Thank you to our producer John backstage for looking that up. You think I would do research for Unwinds? You are incorrect. But for me, You think I'm not giving the best Jason 5 leaves? This is absolutely a movie made to be enhanced with to it's just too good of a time, man. And it's really is like a charming movie, which is just like not something you can say about too many of the Friday the 13th movies, as I'm through 10 of them, that it's like genuinely charming. It can be charming like to the individual. Like this is like when I covered, back a few with John, the Carrie Jason, whichever one that is, like the one where it's just Carrie versus Jason, like that's John's, and John loves that one. He also understands why no one else loves it. Here with Jason X, we all love it. It's our Jason. The unofficial Aaron Unwinds Friday the 13th through 10 movies is Jason X. So, we aren't done with the Friday the 13th franchise, however. We got 2 more to go. We are covering Freddy versus Jason, which is very close to the best one. Maybe after rewatching it, I will put it at that throne, and then the reboot, which I really like as well. So maybe Jeremy will be joining me for one or both of those. We'll see. Stay tuned. But yeah, stay tuned. No pressure as I put it on him here, right? On camera like a pro. But that's going to do it for this episode of Aaron Unwinds. We're through 10 Jason movies. Freddy vs. Jason is coming up next week. Before we take off, Letterboxd challenge. The link right there below. A Cohen. Go check it out. We are continuing to work our way through a lot of very interesting prompts. I've learned that vertical productions or vertical entertainment, whatever vertical is, doesn't make a lot of movies I want to watch. So that's always fun to learn from a challenge. But there's good stuff too. Every Sunday, Why We Love Horror TV might be returning with a particular show, or we might be waiting until October for Welcome to Dairy. Just stay tuned on the channel. We will let you know. Mondays is Versus. It's never going anywhere because it's just that good. Will and John cover cinema. Tuesdays, Liv, when she feels like it, does Why Liv Love Horror. When she doesn't feel like it, she doesn't do it. Deal with it. Wednesdays, Aaron Unwinds. I never have anything better to do but be here with you guys. Thank you for the support. Like and subscribe. We'll continue on the Friday the 13th franchise and adjacent movies. Thursdays, the Why We Love Horror Letterboxd Challenge watch along show, best title in all of showbiz. Fridays, Why We Love Horror trivia, 2 trivia matches, and then Why We Love Horror, the flagship show, dropping reviews as we see the movies. John and Abby with a rare review to do the new Conjuring movie, which is breaking like global records, just like I hoped it would. Awesome. I love some fast food horror. So go enjoy a fast food horror review over there with those fast food connoisseurs. Just kidding, though. But for Jeremy, for myself, for John, the producer backstage and runner of the channel, and the reason this channel is at all legitimate, Aaron Unwinds is out. Have a good one, everybody.